KGB defector from Russia predicted modern America. He said apparently back in 1984 that Russia has a long-term goal of ideologically subverting the United States through what they called the Great Brainwashing.
I hate to break it to y'all, especially those of you on the left, progressives that are sharing this video and also commenting in the comment section things like, how come we didn't get demoralized and brainwashed? You did, y'all. In fact, Bezmenov was specifically talking about Bezmenov was talking about left ideologies being the brainwashing. I think y'all think, because you think the right is brainwashed, that that's who he was talking about. He wasn't, okay? Bezmenov was specifically talking about communist ideologies coming out of the USSR. What Bezmenov was considering brainwashing was specifically left ideologies coming out of communist USSR. Things like equal rights, things like anti-racism, things like lack of oppression, things like LGBTQ, things like getting paid your labor value. Those were the ideologies that he was considering to be brainwashing of the United States. It wasn't the right, okay? And the demoralization phase, I think you guys heard demoralize and you thought like something that's not moral, so no. What he meant when he said demoralization phase is the demoralizing of America's morality at foundation, which was slavery, babe. Okay? He was talking about demoralizing against the idea of oppression being the way. He was talking about demoralization against like, oh, put black people in chains. That's what he meant. He meant demoralizing the point of America's foundation being exploitation, okay? That's what he was talking about when he says the demoralization phase. That actually happened, okay? During the 60s and the 70s, okay? And specifically for y'all astrology babes, I see your astrology, he was specifically talking about you. He was talking about astrology, like the gurus and things like that. He actually, before he defected, was in India with the gurus, and it was with that ideology that got picked up by the KGB, and he's saying that that was the propaganda that was shoved in the United States to infiltrate, to brainwash the Americans with that type of ideology. That's what he meant. That's what he was talking about with the brainwashing, okay? He was not talking about the right. In fact, Bezmenov was saying what the right is saying. In fact, that you shouldn't be teaching nothing about humanity and none of that shit in school. You should be teaching patriotism. You remember the other day when Trump got on the stage and said we need to take all that anti-American shit out of school. Bezmenov said that too. He said the USSR was actually pumping things like caring about humanity and caring about other people and things like that, caring about the poor, caring about oppressed people and things like that, and having people have human rights as the brainwashing that would be infiltrated into the school. That would be the demoralization phase. Now, you guys are correct in the destabilization phase that we are in right now, babe. And Trump is the destabilizer, by the way, because he predicted, as USSR and Russia and all of them already knew and already did, that at the foundation of America was racism and all that shit, and eventually they would have kickback. And eventually that shit would rise up again to kick back against all of the demoralization phase, against all of the leftist ideologies of equality, and it would kick back. And that's what Donald Trump is here to do, to destabilize, actually crash your whole fucking economy, to de-dollarize, to sink the United States dollar for all his buddies that he has in BRICS. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Hey, Elon, okay? And if you want to know what BRICS is, that is the future key that Donald Trump has sold the United States out for, so he can continue to make money with his buddies in BRICS and the Saudis. The Saudis, by the way, if you watch the last BRICS summit, who are also joining BRICS, okay? That is the correct phase. But the brainwashing specifically, I want you to know that Bezmenov was talking about was left ideologies of equality and caring about LGBTQ, caring about humanity, caring about the fact that you don't want to be a wage slave. All those things, actually, he felt coming out of USSR communism was the propaganda that was pushed into the United States to lead into the other phase, destabilization, to crash your whole fucking shit, okay? To lead into the crisis phase. Crisis stage, because at the end of the day, you cannot have a nation that exploits its people, oppresses its people. You cannot have a nation specifically that goes and destabilizes the other nation and not expect that shit to come right the fuck back, okay? And that's just a matter of fact. And I don't know how to say it's just a little too late. So what I can say to y'all on the left specifically, because I don't even bother with the right, they've already made the decision to put nation over humanity. For those of you that do care about humanity, though, this is a place, it's a truth that you need to wrestle with, because you cannot be pro a nation that relies on exploitation and oppression to survive from its foundation even till this day, and then also say you care about humans, babe. Okay, you got to make a decision, and that's the confusion. That's what he actually means when he said you can give them all the information you want and they still won't get it. What the information is all the information, the foundations of America, all the horrible things that America did in order to raise itself up, to have all that information and still not understand that going to July 4th and watching the fireworks and shit just don't add up. It just don't connect. That's what he meant. That was the confusion and hypocrisy that would cause cognitive dissonance, everybody be confused and America shouting back and forth at each other. That's what he was talking about. Anyways, I hope I give the information to let you know as you are sharing this clip. You are not sharing this clip, showing this clip like he's critiquing the right. He actually is critiquing leftist ideologies and saying that leftist ideologies are the brainwashing that went in to demoralize. Like I said, if you are somebody on the left, what you have to wrestle with and understand is that you cannot be pro a nation that relies on oppression and exploitation and against those things at the same damn time. Okay? Have a nice day. Oh, and by the way, Bezmenov was a whole ass fucking racist, okay? And like anti-African racist. Whole ass fucking racist, okay? Okay. Have a great day.